the big UK housing challenge. My mind works in circles. I cannot stop it. It works alone in my head. Then my mouth goes into gear, and people tell me to go away. There is a reason for this opening statement. Honestly, I have considered the housing challenge for over 2 years. I have put together several documents and sent them to UK government departments, both Labour and Conservative, and not even received a reply. I have put the ideas into conversation to anyone who will listen, who all tell me, will never work, mate. I am someone who never takes no for an answer. By all means, take my suggestions apart and tell me no. But to do this, you have to offer an alternative that will work. Let me describe the challenges as I see them. First, unemployed youngsters, full education with loans to repay. Then, NEETs, part or no education and no money. Build costs of new houses with builders requiring a return on investment. Land availability, brown and green sites. Lack of support resources for new builds. Training needs for skills for workers. Building regulations limiting house production timeframes. Planning permissions. Local councils' planning rules. Local resistance where people cannot see the end results. Transport of materials for builds and local disruption to travel. Shortages of materials for builds. I could go on, but these are the obvious challenges that have to be overcome. So, what options are actually available to us if we just refuse to accept no as an answer? Well, first off, we need to train students at any level in how to build and fit out houses. Honestly, we should let them be involved in every single part of the process, from design through to build, commissioning, and maintenance. There are just so many skills we used to teach that, for some reason, we don't now. New traditional housing build costs are, let's face it, expensive and really dependent on a constant supply of components at recognizable prices just to be able to predict a return on investment for the builder at a price that can be managed for the financiers and, of course, the buyers. Now, current building regulations are extending well beyond the safety aspects of design and build, which adds significant costs to the original build and sale. After sales additions are, strangely enough, never considered to overcome local challenges. Planning is often remote from all local voters, and quite often stands in the way of new allocations of land for build, especially when set against housing designs that people just do not like. So, is there a way to overcome all of the above and more? Well, without getting into too much detail just yet, here are a set of options. The how? Well, that's to be worked out. Imagine this, a national house building framework for all students covering every element of the program, from design through to build and delivery, construction, fit out, and commissioning. And it's all based on prefab build. There would be a national production framework for the whole lot, where the prefabricated buildings can actually be created and stored, ready to be called upon for delivery to sites allocated locally, to a design that's acceptable to everyone. There would be an extensive array of buildings made available, so that any site could be designed to properly meet the needs of the community. On top of that, a national transport training program for anyone, but especially including students so they can drive large capacity delivery vehicles, with training centers set up next to the build centers and aligned with major roads running north to south across the country as a first step. East to west would be secondary. We'd even involve our armed forces to help with training and provide some structure to these programs. And of course, financial funding for the setup would be supported by central government to promote the inclusion of existing prefab house builders who can also gain from this output. The end result should really be a massive rise in working students who are paying tax with no debt, and an opportunity for those being trained to own or rent the houses they design and build. The whole training scheme should start to move the UK back into production skills, instead of just services. And you know, all of the above should be possible to set up and start delivering within 2 years from the get-go, if a full team of planners is agreed, and finance is ring-fenced for the jobs in hand.